These are people of rare professions who always remain behind the scenes. We are not on stage, we are not in the orchestra, we work in the hall, therefore probably people don't know much about us. But it's hard to imagine the work of any theater without them. They're very important. They, so to speak, create a mood for us. About professionals who help opera and ballet artists become stars in the next episode of Colors of Asia. Hello, you're watching Colors of Asia. I would like to remind you that you can watch this and all other episodes of our program on the official website of the Qazaq TV channel and on its YouTube channel. In our previous programs, we have repeatedly talked about the work of the stars of opera and ballet art. But those were public people who shine on stage and conquer the hearts of their fans. Today, we decided to introduce you to people who always remain behind the scenes. Few people know them, they're rarely written about and spoken about in the media, but it's clear that a smooth operation of a theater is impossible without them. In a way, they are fighters of an invisible front, and we decided to devote this program to them. Recently, I have read with great pleasure a very interesting information about the life of great Soviet composers. And one episode really stuck in my memory, and I would like to share it with you. Once, the famous Reinhold Glier was invited to head the jury of singing competition. And after the audition, he was asked who made a special impression on him. To which the maestro sincerely admitted, accompanists. By the way, this is rather a rare profession. Some don't even know about its existence. And I must admit that not every talented pianist is able to become an accompanist, because for this you need to have certain qualities. The accompanist for the opera singer is a very important person who helps to create not only the part, but also the image, and he's like the conductor's right hand. We are already at the theater early in the morning, starting with classes, and they're always by our side. They're always there to help us. It is safe to say that this opinion is shared by all opera and ballet dancers. The concert master's profession is really valuable, and to become a good accompanist, it must be a vocation.
Я с детства уже мечтала об этом. Вот. И когда я поступила в консерваторию, мне предлагали два факультета.
I have dreamt about it since childhood, and when I entered the conservatory, I was offered two faculties, musicology and pianist. But even then, I told Aysulou Jumabekovna that I would be an accompanist. But I couldn't imagine myself being the accompanist in the opera. I dreamt of being a ballet accompanist, but I was lucky enough to meet such a beautiful person as Renat Salavatov, who accepted me at the opera house and who said, "You belong to the opera."
И который сказал, ну что ты, твое место в опере.
Я училась на третьем курсе в консерватории. Я не думала о никакой работе. Моя мама.
I studied in the third year of the conservatory and did not think about any work. My mom said that I needed to try to work. I needed to practice my skills. That it was time to get a job. While I was thinking about what she said, we came to the theater.
Мне очень понравилось. Я была просто.
I really liked it. I was surprised that I could work here, that there was such a wonderful team. And in general, work with a ballet. For me, it was all so exciting, and it is still exciting to this day.
Если вы будете работать, вы будете концертмейстер балет. Вот это все было для меня интересно, вот, и до сих пор интересно.
Gulnaz Zhidilova and Zauria Zhubanova are true professionals. They devoted their lives to the beloved Abay Opera and Ballet Theater. These are the very people whose style is difficult to confuse with anyone's. Once they studied from the great ones, and today, they successfully pass on their experience, knowledge to young colleagues. And by their work, we can judge what qualities a representative of their chosen profession should have.
Естественно, концертмейстер должен быть хорошим пианистом, и при всем при этом он должен быть хорошим ансамблистом.
Of course, the accompanist should be a good pianist, and at the same time, he should be good at working with ensemble. And he must have a sensitive character and good pitch. The most important thing is patience, because the accompanist always works in tandem with the stars, big stars and upcoming ones. This is as fate would have it. Naturally, he must stay strong. He must be able to work in a stressful environment, to withstand all the whims, all the features of the big star personality.
Профессия требует большого терпения.
The profession requires great patience and concentration, because even an experienced, prepared accompanist, having come here, will not be able to immediately get involved in this work, because it requires concentration and strength. It immediately requires attention. It requires clarity.
Она сразу требует внимания, она сразу требует четкости.
Мы с Гульнарой Шихановной смотрим не только музыку, не только там ритм.
Gulnara and I observed not only music and rhythm, we also study the temper of a certain hero, all emotions, experiences, how to perform the part better, how to show its features. Therefore, this is very important, and thanks to the accompanist, we feel very confident on stage.
Поэтому это очень важно, и благодаря концертмейстеру мы чувствуем себя на сцене очень уверенно.
Заурия Ахметовна еще помимо того, что она профессионал в своем деле, талантливый музыкант, она еще настолько...
Apart from being a professional and a talented musician, Zauriya has been in our profession for so long that she knows all our activities. And she can even give some tips. Here, use your back. Here, turn the heel. You know, it's worth a lot. Actually, she's a great person. She's been playing for me for quite some time. When she is at our rehearsal, then everything's fine. Because when the accompanist doesn't feel you, you get nervous. You know, in addition to the fact that it's difficult physically, I'm starting to get stressed. And when I work with her, everything goes very smoothly.
Я еще начинаю напрягаться, когда вот с ней у нас проходит все очень гладко.
Since opera and ballet are different genres of art, of course, the specifics of the work among accompanists differs from one another.
Прыжки, многие там, танцевальные моменты.
Many dance moments create an image, but it's expressed by the body. I mean, we can't sing. This is very difficult because the ballet accompanist must feel all this.
Тоже очень сложно, потому что концертмейстер балета должен все это чувствовать.
У нас в первую очередь это вокал, достижение.
Whereas in our field, it's all about vocals, achieving a clear pronunciation, dynamics in singing.
Естественно, кантилены.
Naturally, cantilenas, a good bel canto in opera, and of course the singer should be a good actor as well.
Еще плюс к этому был хорошим актером.
In Soviet times, various competitions were often held among ballet dancers, according to the results of which the pianists were also awarded prizes and diplomas. Nowadays, the accompanist profession has outlived itself at such events, because their work was replaced by a phonogram. But in opera, everything is different.
Очень много таких у нас тематических концертов, и, естественно,
We have a lot of such thematic concerts, and of course we work as pianists there. And we're going out on an equal footing with our colleagues. It's not enough to say that we go out as partners, as support, but also as soloists. It's difficult, because the stage is always about excitement.
Когда приходят молодые, как сказать, молодежь в театр, молодые солисты, ну, мы продолжаем...
When young soloists come to the theater, we work with them. We continue to help and support them. We help them to grow professionally. We help them work on their parts in the play. And this takes a lot of work.
Работать в спектакле. Вот, а это тоже труд.
Конечно, приходится всех любить.
Of course, you have to love everyone, because they're like your children. You love them anyway. You get attached to them. And sometimes you even get jealous. That is what happens. But to bring them up from the cradle, so to speak, help them with their first steps, to invest your soul in them, is encouraging. When you see their progress and bring them to the big stage, you rejoice together. You celebrate their success and think, what a happiness. They fulfilled their potential. Today, a new generation of accompanists is growing up in the theater. And according to Zauriya Zhubanova, these are young people for whom they do not have to be ashamed. And the work by some of them frankly evokes delight and respect. And this suggests that a worthy new generation is growing, which makes them confident about the bright future of their beloved theater.
На данный момент со мной работает наш молодой коллега.
At the moment, I'm working with a young colleague. He has been working for the 4th year. He came to us in 2017, and, as if my own story repeats itself,
Как бы моя история повторяется. Был на 3-м курсе, он пришел к нам.
he also studied in the 3rd year and came to us. This is my student, Айдос Кистаубаев.
Вот. Я думаю, что это будет мое продолжение, потому что
I think he will continue my work because he has great patience and courage. And I really appreciate his main qualities. He works thoughtfully and qualitatively, although the profession is not easy for him.
хотя профессия ему дается.
But this patience and wisdom he has are above his years. But he's still a young man, and thoughtfulness in work is bearing fruit.
И обдуманность в работе дает свои плоды.
You just watched a story about accompanists, the very musicians who are always by the artist's side. But our colleagues from Dushanbe decided to talk about people of other professions and specialties. There are many of them in opera and ballet theaters. For example, makeup artists, sewing workers, stage directors. What would the stars do without them? Well, I will not keep you waiting, and with great pleasure, I give the floor to my friends from Tajikistan. Secret lanes, long hallways, and dozens of doors. This is a backstage of the Tajik State Academic Opera and Ballet Theater named after Sadriddin Ayni. There are those who are always in the shadow of artists and directors. But at the same time, without the painstaking and creative work of these people, not a single performance would have taken place. And while the workers, completing the last preparations for the performance, we have the opportunity to visit one of the rehearsals and take a look at many workshops of this legendary theater. They tell me on the radio which flying bar should come down now, which is not. In total, we have 37 of them. Of course, not all of them are involved in one performance. We only use 5 or 6 flying bars. I manage them with the help of an assistant director. Of course, I try not to make any mistakes. I want each performance to be on a high level. And there are more than 1,000 costumes in this dressing room. For them, a certain temperature mode is observed. All of them are ironed out and starched.
К каждому спектаклю заранее уже узнаю, нам сообщают, какой спектакль, мы готовим индивидуально.
We prepare for each performance individually. We're informed about upcoming performances in advance. And for each actor, we individually look through the costumes, prepare them, and then help artists to put them on. As soon as the performance ends, we collect all costumes, check if everything is fine, whether it's torn or dirty, then we wash it and iron it.
Ничто ли не порвалось, ничто ли не испачкалось. Приводим в порядок, стираем, гладим.
It's never quiet in the sewing shop. This is where costume designers bring their sketches, and then the cutters and seamstresses take over.
Это чапан, он называется на таджикском.
This chapan is called hilat in Tajik. It was worn by an actor who performed the part of Abali ibn Sino.
Который участвовал в образе Абу-Али ибн Сино. Также здесь следующий образ.
The next costume is from the play Rustam and Suhrob. This is the image of a soldier, and now it's under restoration.
Сейчас этот образ сдан на реставрацию, так как их уносят.
Frequent performances affect the state of costumes. They wear out, and they bring them to us for restoration.
Чтобы мы их реставрировали. Следующий образ, который вы видите здесь,
The next one is the image of the great writer and poet Rudaki.
писателя, поэта Рудаки.
It took us 2 weeks to create this image. We needed to make it the same way as it was painted by our artists.
Того рисунка, который нарисовали художники.
I love my job very much. When we hand over finished products to the dressing department, we're very happy to see actors during their rehearsals and at performances in these costumes sewn by us. Of course, sewing a simple dress or costume is very different from making a theater costume. Each suit has its own specifics. Rudaki's costumes are different from Sino's. Theater costumes require a lot of work and accuracy. After all, actors should feel comfortable in them.
Я работаю в театре около 25 лет. За это время пошито очень много костюмов.
I have been working in the theater for about 25 years. During this time, many costumes were made and a lot more performances were staged. In particular, in our workshop, we sew mainly women's costumes. First, it must be approved, and then we'll receive costumes. A certain amount for the choir, a certain amount for the ballet.
Вот эти костюмы – это спектакль «Жизель».
These are the costumes from the play Giselle. It takes 2-3 days to sew such a costume.
2-3 дня. Но нас торопят, потому что...
But sometimes they rush us because they brought new fabric. Skirts and underskirts were selected. There should be 2 or 3 layers. Right now I'm sewing leaves because this performance was slightly changed.
В данный момент я нашиваю листья, потому что этот спектакль уже немножко преобразовали.
It would be unfair on our part if we, having got behind the scenes of the theater, did not look for a place where it smells like powder, glue, and paints. You guessed it right, it's a makeup room. There are really magicians working here. They can simply change the look of any actor beyond recognition.
У нас в театре есть гримеры, у которых очень сложная задача.
We have makeup artists in the theater who have very difficult tasks. In general, they should completely transform a person and turn a young man into an elderly grandfather of 70-80 years old. They do this very successfully.
И у них это получается очень успешно.
У мужских артистов балета, конечно, намного сложнее, так как...
For male artists, everything is much more difficult. Since you have to use makeup, a beard, and a mustache. It's all glued. Sometimes after makeup, you look in the mirror and do not recognize yourself.
Тяжело узнаешь себя.
And this is the head of the makeup room, Valentina Ramadanova. Radically change the appearance of artists is her credo. As for wigs, eyebrows, eyelashes, it seems that she knows everything. And she's happy to share the secrets of their production.
Парик готовится, на болвашечку одевается паричок, на бигуди накручивается. Потом, когда это все высыхает, мы...
The wig is prepared like this. We put a wig on the block, and it is put in curlers.
Наша профессия – помогаем актеру выйти на сцену.
And then, when it all dries out, we untwist it and make a shape.
Я очень расстраиваюсь. Я переживаю.
The artist puts on a costume and goes on stage. Our profession is to help the actor.
Не все получается, но в процессе работы мы все исправляем там как-то.
When I don't get the image I want, I get really upset. But when I succeed in creating the image I wanted, then I'm happy.
Должна быть, да? Набивается материя, потом она...
Not everything works out, but in the process of work, I do everything. It's hard to make a beard. To make a beard, we put a fabric on the block, then we create a form, which will be a foundation of a future beard. Then a fine crochet hook work begins. It's a very delicate work. On the actor, it should look as if the beard is his own. It is a meticulous work. We create a beard and not just in pieces, but we do one crochet hair at a time. It is all created in 2 stages. The first stage of work takes place without an actor when we follow the sketch of the artist. And then we take the finished product to the actor. If there is a need, we make corrections, and this stage of work takes less time.
Идем уже на актера и знаем, что с ним работать, что ему надо, и это занимает меньше времени.
And this is Sayfullo Kenjayev, a representative of the rarest profession of all times. For half a century, has been tuning up pianos, violins, cellos, and other musical instruments.
Я сам по профессии дирижер хоровик. Я поступил в Московский институт Гнесина.
I'm a choir director. I entered the Gnessen's Moscow Institute. Since childhood, I love this profession. I studied with the leading masters of Moscow.
Учиться у ведущих мастеров города Москвы.
I was invited to Tajikistan, and since then I have been working in Dushanbe.
На родину пригласили. Говорят, у нас нет специалистов.
At the Art Institute, at the Conservatory, I work in all government concerts. When world-leading orchestras come to us, I help them, if it's necessary. People who prepare the stage for each performance deserve a special respect at the theater. Said Sharipov has been working here for more than 30 years. He's a stage setter. There are 8 people below me. Of course, we have a very responsible job. My team and I are responsible for the whole stage design. If a little mistake is made, then all the work has been done in vain. I check every piece, every detail, every little thing. I hand everything over to the artist personally. After all, we also want our work to be done for a reason. There is always a desire to see how the viewer rejoices, how he applauds the artists, admires the beauty of the stage, says how interesting and professionally it is decorated. Our work always takes place behind the scenes, but it doesn't bother me. No one sees the costume designer or decorator on stage either. Most importantly, I really enjoy working here. And this is Jamshed Khalikov, the chief artist of the theater. It depends on him how the audience sees their performance, what the scenery will be, and which costumes the artist will perform.
В спектаклях, в оперных, там в основном исторические костюмы, там, конечно, получается более сложные.
In opera performances, there are mainly historical costumes, which are more complex in creating. Therefore, you always have to turn to historical materials. And costumes should be made of light materials, so it would be comfortable for artists to wear. They should match their characters, the genre, and the atmosphere that the artist tries to create together with the director.
Художник совместно с режиссером. К спектаклю модерн балету это вот.
In the modern ballet for the character Water, we use several types of fabric: chiffon, atlas, and tricotin.
Chiffon, atlas, tricotin.
And to make it as picturesque as possible, they were selected in different color shades. There were pastel shades, somewhere there were bright tones. In addition, frills and embroideries were used to give the wave a pomp.
Плюс к этому применялись оборки, вышивки, чтобы дать пышность.
Other backstage workers also make a great contribution to art. These are choreographers, vocal teachers, administrators, assistant engineers, sound engineers, teachers, and many others. And all of them, of course, are worthy of applause and a standing ovation. In any theater, there is another important profession, costume designer. From the outside, it seems that it's smooth and quite comfortable. Practice shows that this is a false opinion. Believe me, this is a difficult and responsible job. Therefore, probably a good dresser is as good as gold, and to become one, you need to put a lot of effort and knowledge. Our colleague from Bishkek will introduce you to one of the representatives of this profession. When it comes to theatrical professions, dressers are probably not the first thing that comes to your mind. Although during the performances they have to dress the artists behind the scenes, moreover in a matter of seconds, and they have to remember all the nuances. And in the opera and ballet theater, every detail of the artistic image is important: costume, headdress, shoes, accessories, and even jewelry. And now we will introduce you to a person who has been working for many years at the Abdullah Moldobayev Kyrgyz National Academic Opera and Ballet Theater. She will tell us about the specifics of the dresser's profession. Please meet Marina Proshina.
Работаю в театре уже 22 года. Вначале работала костюмером, одевала.
I've been working in the theater for 22 years. At first, I worked as a dresser. I dressed soloists, then it turned out that I became the manager of the costume department. But still I dress artists as well. We come to work a day before the performance, prepare costumes, check if it needs sewing or ironing. And then we come on the day of a performance, 2 hours before it starts, take out costumes, carry them to the rooms, and help the artists dress. Marina says that she has been devoted to this profession because she loves it. For 22 years, she never had a thought about changing her job. On the contrary, no matter what, she has enjoyed working more and more with each year.
Я не знаю, я могу сказать, что театр — это болото. Вот ты приходишь сюда, тебя засасывает.
I can say that theater is a swamp. You come here and you get sucked in. Earlier, when I was young, my mother invited me here, but I didn't want to go there. I was young. I had other interests. And then I came and realized that it was a swamp. We have a small salary, but we still work here.
Маленькая там зарплата, и мы все равно работаем.
The specifics of the dresser's profession is that he must be responsible, disciplined, attentive, fast, intelligent, and competent. You can't go on without these qualities. You should know the libretto of each performance, whether it be opera or ballet, almost by heart. You must know the character traits of each artist, whether it be a leading soloist, choir artists, or a corps de ballet. You must know the image of each hero of the play. When a new dresser comes, we say, get a notebook and write down everything in accordance with the performances. What exactly actors wear, and in which performance. What kind of costumes there should be. Because new dresser can barely differentiate between costumes. Everything is the same for him. According to Marina, it's interesting to work in the theater, and the dresser is one of the wizards who creates different images. Acquaintances with extraordinary people, with the world of fashion and art, requires a desire to constantly learn something new. And that's why people here call themselves happy. That's all for today. This was Colors of Asia. Watch us on the official website of Qazaq TV and on its YouTube channel. See you soon.